Hey everyone, welcome back for another manga haul video. So for this month of May, it was kind of like the birthday month, so I went a little too hard on buying books this time around. So I got quite a bit. I got just a little over 100 volumes this month. So with that, I'm just gonna jump right in and start charging through these. So like I said in the last video, ones that I've already been collecting, I'm kind of just gonna give a little brief overview about why I'm still collecting them, or what I've read so far in this series, and then move on, and then I'll save more of my discussion for those books that I have just started collecting. So with that, let's jump on in. So the series that we're gonna kick this off, this will be Kaguya-sama number 4 and 6. So I got lucky. I'm just trying to hunt down these earlier number of volumes, still keeping up with the anime, and I'm still loving it. The recent episode with them rap battling was pretty great, so can't wait to get the rest of these, and hopefully one day we'll get all the books and get up to date. And the series following that, I'm really excited. I finally caught up to, and I don't have to worry about hunting them down anymore, is going to be Black Clover. Finally got 11 and 15 in, which were the ones I've been waiting on. And when I saw they were coming in, I went ahead and picked up the other two that I needed, which would be 23 and 24. So I can't wait to see this series finally completed on my shelf. And then I can now start going through it. I'm going to not go any further than I have in the anime, because I want to be able to stay surprised with that. But I can finally take it off my list of things to keep looking out for. And after that, just two series of basic upkeep are me Undead Unluck and Mashal. So Mashal is that comedy that I'm digging. I'm loving it. It gives me always a good laugh. I'm enjoying what they're doing with the story so far. And then Undead Unluck. My comments are still about the same from what I said last time. I get a little convoluted, but I enjoy the story. I like the characters, I like the interactions. If anything, it's a series I would say, like, there are characters in here. Yeah, they are very personable. So still keeping up with it, and I'm still enjoying it so far. And next up, An Incurable Case of Love, Volume 5. Again, I still recommend it for the shoujo fans. I'm liking it quite a bit. I haven't gotten to this one yet, but I'm slowly working through it, and I'll be excited when I can finally say that this one's been all cut up and completed, and I don't have to worry about looking for this one. And then after that, one series that I am just on basic upkeep now is Queen's Quality. Again, I still have yet to get into this because I'm still looking for QQ Sleeper Volume 1 and 2. So then once I get those, I will be all up to date, and I can just sit and binge read this. So I'm excited for that, and maybe that'll be the goal for next month, is knocking out those two. After that, we have good old Hunter x Hunter Volume 18 and 19. Again, I got lucky, so I figured I'd snag these because I'm missing them. And again, it's regarded as really awesome for the reasons that we all know, so I'm not going to stick up too much on it. But yeah, really excited to add these, and just still slowly looking for them. And next up is a shoujo that I'm really excited to dig into now that I have a little bit more of them, and I was able to get a pretty good chunk thanks to Right Stuff sales that always make my wallet cry. So Cetus 1, 5, 7, 10, 11, and 12. So I'm slowly looking for these. I finally finished the anime. I really enjoyed it. I really liked what they did, and kind of going through the volumes that we did have while watching the anime, a lot of stuff was different and not added in there. So I'm slowly getting it, guys. I'm almost there. Just a couple more volumes, and finally I can dig into this. But at least for now, I can dig into Volume 1 and start my journey while I'm waiting for all the other books. So heavily excited for this one. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it as much as I did, so I'm really looking forward to finding the rest of these and having the entirety of this series in my collection. After that, then good old One Piece Volume 99. We're getting closer to that 100. I've been staying up to date with the chapters on the app. Whew, it's a doozy. Again, I really think that it can't do more than what it's doing. It does that. I'm really excited to see just 100 volumes of this on my shelf. But with that, not going to spend too much time on it. It's One Piece, right? It's One Piece. And after that, I finally got in Volume 2 of Fist of the North Star, so I can go through Volumes 3 and 4 that have been kind of just sitting there. So again, I still really enjoyed that first volume, so I'm excited to see where the story goes following this one. And then a series I didn't expect to find when I went to Barnes & Nobles. I was able to snag 4 copies of Manga. So I got 6, 11, 12, and 15. I was really excited. I remember going there with a girlfriend, and I was like, man, as long as I have Manga, I'm good. And I'll be damned if they didn't have these 4 volumes sitting on the shelf, which I have not seen anywhere around our area. But I was excited that, because now, another series I'm inching very close to completing. And then again, I'm just going to sit and binge read this entire thing. So I'm on the lookout, and maybe that'll be a goal for this month. I don't know. We'll see. And to wrap up all the books that I got from Viz for this month, as a series I didn't expect to complete anytime soon, and that would be Good Night Pun Pun. I got really fortunate. I was able to find the last of all that I needed. So of course I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then good old number 6. I was really joking, and I was just like, I picked up volume 7. I was like, oh, I'll just get this because, you know, one day I'll be able to finish this. And again, within the entirety of the month of May, I just randomly going to the Barnes and Nobles, I was able to find all of these, and I wasn't gonna let myself pass them up this time. Before, I remember seeing these in the past. I was like, oh man, looks like a series I want to get into. I'd really like to get to buy those. And then by the time I wanted to invest in them, I could never find them. So now seeing them this time around, I was like, there's no way I'm gonna pass these up. So I got them. I read the first volume. I'm really digging it. So I'm excited to finish out this series to see what all the greatness is that I keep hearing people say about this series. After that, I just have 3 books that I managed to get from 7 Seas this time around. So the first is going to be the second volume of Thigh High. My impressions of it are still the same as the last video. It's hilarious of the hijinks, and it's pretty cute. I'm not gonna lie. I like the character interactions. It's just a really good. I sit down, if I need something to laugh at and have a little wholesomeness, then this is kind of what I'm going to now. So I got 1 more to go before I'm caught up, I think. And as always, I still highly recommend this one. Then following that one, we have The Savior's Book Cafe and Another World. So I still haven't gotten around to the first one. From the girlfriend said she still really enjoys it and she's loving it. So hopefully when I get time to sit down and dig into it, I'm gonna have the same response. So, but anything, the cover is very pretty. And then lastly, I have The Ancient Magnus Bride number 14. So this is a series where I did watch on the anime and I really liked it. We're still missing a good portion, something like the middle chunk of this series. So once we get that, then I would like to revisit because it's been a long time since I watched the anime. But this is another one that's on the list of hopefully sometime soon we'll be able to finish it out, and then I can dive back into it because I really did enjoy what I had read of it. So the next publisher up after that is going to be good old Kodansha. So the first one is gonna be Blackguard. I haven't read this one. My reservations of the first one still to stay the same, so I'm hoping that this will kind of start going into the characters a little bit more, kind of building the world a little bit, and see. As I said before, like I did love Devil's Line, and I'm waiting to see if this one's gonna be as strong as that one for me personally. But I'm excited to see where it goes. Then good old Shaman King. Yeah, I can't recommend this one enough. It's I think I mentioned it before. It's what I consider one of my big 3s, one of the first 3 books that I ever got that got me into manga. So I'm just excited that I can finally read the finished story, and it's just one that I can't recommend highly enough. Then kind of sticking with the manga vibes, we have Orient, the newest series by the same creator. I've been digging this a lot. I feel it's really kicked into high gear with what the author's doing at the moment. I highly recommend this if you liked manga. And then use some of that typical like shonen fanfare. It's hitting all the right spots for me, and it's gotten pretty gruesome. I'm not gonna lie. It's this pulled some things out I didn't expect that were gonna happen. So I'm excited to see where it goes. And again, highly recommend. Then following it up, something a little more wholesome within A Sign of Affection. I finally read volume 1, and I helped the girlfriend hunt these ones down. Good God, is it sweet! I really like the relationship between these 2 characters. I'm highly invested. If you like those really like cute, shy, awkward, like slice of life romance kind of stories, 100% 10 out of 10 go. I recommend this. Go check it out, and I can't wait to see what happens in the next 2, at least for me. Then next up, volumes 2, 3, and 4 of The Witch Hat Atelier. I'm gonna butcher that name every single time. But yeah, I got the first one. I have not read anything past that first volume, so I got lucky. I found 2 of these at half price. So I was like, you know what? I'll go pick up number 2. Same, I got 3 and 4. So I haven't had a time to sit and read these, but I liked what the direction the first volume was kind of pushing the story through. So I'm still really going to enjoy and like this one. And then the wrap up Kodansha, I have volumes 1, 7, and 9 of Happiness. So with this being the first volume, I read a little bit of it, and it's got me intrigued. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna go too far into it because, as always, I'm gonna just sit and gush over this author. But I've been enjoying what I'm reading the first one, and totally as like the other ones, slowly getting the rest of them. So it'll be exciting once I have that completed. And after that, I have the one upkeep light novel that we have is Sabique Bisco. So this is what takes place after the anime. I love the anime. I did read the first book and I loved it. So I'm waiting so I get in a really, I guess, in that perfect mood to sit and dig through this. I don't know if I'm ready after I read the back and seen some of the character art in here, but I'm really excited to see where the story's going because it was probably one of my anime of that season. So I can't wait. And if you haven't checked this out, I highly suggest you. It's different. Reminds you of that Dorohedoro vibe, kind of atmosphere and stuff. So if you like that, this is definitely worth the check out. And then the last publisher we're going to go through, we're going to keep it off with Yen Press, and that is Smoke and Parade Volume 10. This is the final volume. I'm waiting for this for a while. As I said in the last video, when I did these, I do need to go through and review these because it's taken so long for this to come out. But it's a bittersweet thing to get that final volume. Yes, it'll be done, the story's complete, but then I don't have to look forward to it anymore. But I'm excited to see how this story gets wrapped up. And another one that I'm not ready to end is Hanako. It's still going. Hopefully it doesn't end for a very long time. I'm loving it. Just, again, that wholesome sinisterness that kind of kicks in, and the art's so pretty. I love the stories, like those ghost stories. Again, recommend it. Definitely go check it out. And then going back to that shoujo vibe will be Cheeky Brat number 3. I did read volume 1, and good God, it's great. It gives me a lot of those Maid-sama vibes. So if you like that, definitely go run and see how this is for you. And following those kind of old shoujo vibes, we have volumes 2 and 3 of Fruit Basket. Again, I got lucky just finding 2. It's usually one I never can find. So once I saw that, I went ahead and picked up 3 as well. And this will be next on the list to kind of knock those out. Again, I love the anime, so now I'm slowly collecting the books so I can sit and binge all those as well. And to wrap up, the good old assassin love story, Love of Kill. I've been a little hesitant on this one because I know it does continue after the anime. I have caught up with it, so I'm just kind of waiting. Once I get through a lot of the newer series that I have, I'm gonna dig in this one, and I'm scared. I'm starting to get really scared for some of the characters based off what I read, but really good read. Highly recommend they go check out. And with that, we're going to transition into the other section of books of ones that I haven't gone over in any of the previous manga haul videos. So the ones I'm upkeeping, why I'm enjoying this series, and the new series that have started, what's got me intrigued, and hopefully what I'm looking forward to after checking out those first volumes. So I'm going to start off with the biggest books first, and the first one's going to be the first volume of Silent Voice, the complete collector's edition. I was going to get the smaller paperback ones, but when I saw they were putting these ones out, I decided that I kind of want this series like this. I really resonated with it a lot. I loved the anime or the movie that was done of it. So I'm really excited to add this to my collection. Obviously, a lot of people do talk about it, but if you haven't seen it, you haven't read it, please do go check it out. A good story on self-exploration, loving the self, and forgiving. So highly 10 out of 10 recommend. And then a series that really does not need any introduction, Berserk. So I did get volumes 6, 7, 8, and 9. I'm not going to haul those up because they are massive. These themselves are a workout just holding and reading. So again, I'm not going to say too much on this. One of my favorite series, a lot of people's favorite series for a lot of good reasons. If you haven't jumped into it yet, it's the perfect time. It's a perfect time to get into these. They should be wrapping up the deluxe editions pretty soon with these, so check it out. You won't be disappointed. Next up is going to be the light novel for the Faraway Paladin. One series I checked out just on a whim when the anime released, and good God, I loved it. Old school isekai, man. Like, none of that harem nonsense, none of the came from the world, now I'm overpowered and strong. Like, none of that. Just he's isekai'd, and that's really all you know. That's about it. And it just really puts more of an importance on his growth, his development, the things he's going through, and just operating in this world. So if you like those old school isekais, like, definitely go check this out. I need to get the mangas, but I loved it enough to where I wanted to get the novel as well. So highly recommend for anyone that's looking for that kind of fix. And then a book we just so happened to find, the first volume of Aria. We went to a comic book store and saw this, so I do know that Right Stuff had done pre-order of like a re-release for them. So we do know the chances of finding the original run of this is very slim to none. It'd probably be really expensive to do so either way. But we saw this and we're like, damn, I'm like, that would be really cool just to have in the collection. So we went in and picked it up, and no regrets. And then the last of the Tokyo Pop books that we have is Double. Now, I've only read a little about this. I was kind of tired when I went to dig into the first one, and after seeing some of this stuff, I was like, okay, I need more brain power and focus. Need a little more brain power and focus to get through this. So it was one that caught my interest, but then I was informed that it kind of focuses a little bit on codependency, and that piqued my interest even more. So I went out. I was going to get all 3 volumes, but they only had the first 2. So once I get a chance to dig into these, I'm sure that that third one's not going to be very far behind. Following that up is going to be the first Square Enix manga that we have in the collection, and that's going to be the Apothecary Diaries. So yeah, as you see, there's volumes 1 through 4 right here. We got the first one, and the girlfriend read it and told me to check it out. I read it, and I got heavy Yona vibes in the way that the characters and kind of the world. I loved it. I love the character's personality, and actually not just her personality, not the main character, but also the other people that she interacts with. She's sassy. She's really sassy. She's not afraid to stand her ground. She doesn't really get pushed over by other people. And then she's very intelligent, and it's kind of her, it's like she works her way into this upper royalty because of her skills, and someone's seen what she can do. There seems to be some little like mystery and intrigue that's going on. It's hinted at in this one, but it doesn't really go too far into it. But I'm pretty excited. But I did like it enough to go ahead and go pick up volumes 2, 3, and 4. Haven't gotten into them yet, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna love them. So if you did like Yona of the Dawn, I do highly recommend go check this out. At least for me, I got those vibes at meeting and I really enjoyed it. So worth a check out. And the first one of the 7 Seeds bunch I'm going to have is Superwoman in Love, Honey Trap, and Rapid Rabbit. It's about, just a superhero gets in a relationship with a super villain. And I remember seeing a TikTok going through how something that happens later on seemed pretty interesting. And it caught my attention as well. So I went and picked up the first one. It's fun. I really like it. It gives me a Tiger and Bunny vibes. I don't think it gets as serious as Tiger and Bunny has, but again, I'm only 1 volume in, so I'm excited to see where this goes, because I did really love Tiger and Bunny, so if I can get that, I'm excited to see where this one goes. And then the case file of Jeweler Richard. I really like that anime, so as soon as I saw the manga adaptation, I was like, bet, I'm gonna pick this up. So I've been enjoying it so far, about halfway through, and I know volume 2 is out, so I gotta snag that up. Definitely a different change of pace for me and some of the other stuff I read. So again, I'm really enjoying it. I can't wait to see what comes of this story. And lastly, I have Mars Red volumes 2 and 3. I was kind of interested at how hooked I got into this series because I'm not that big of a vampire fan a lot of the time, but I found it intriguing enough. I like the atmosphere, the art. I'm digging the story and what they're going through now. And this dude, I like this dude. He's pretty he's pretty cool. I enjoy his personality, so I'm excited to see what happens with this. So with switching over to Kodansha, we're gonna start off with Devil Ecstasy. So again, Shujo Oshimi. I'm not gonna say too much about this, just because it is very adult orientated. Just a boy who has been traumatized by a very certain part on the female body, and him running into succubuses, and yeah, all the stuff that ensues. Like I said, I'm not gonna talk too much about it because it gets pretty adult orientated. But it's I've been having a riot reading it, and it does have some little serious, more serious underlining tones to it. But definitely probably more of a niche like. But I've been enjoying it, so I'm interested to see what will happen with the rest of the series. Then switching to a more serious tone, we have Inspector 7, 8, 9, and 11. I loved this series. Granted, I think it was like book 6. Yeah, book 6 turned almost into a light novel for me. Hella worth the read though. I really enjoyed the like psychological or like mental games that started happening later on when it came with the characters tackling the ghosts and stuff. The dynamic between the 2 main characters, or our 2 main leads, is hilarious. I love it. It's really cool to see them work and play off of each other. So I haven't read it in a very long time. It's a series that I'm just now trying to get the rest of the books in here. So I'm probably going to hold off on reading this rest until I actually catch up to everything that is released right now. I think volume 15 was the last one that came out. So, but if you like those like ghost detective, like mystery things, like recommend this. I really enjoyed it. It kind of takes care of that fix of like what Hanako does, but with a more like detective-esque area. So highly recommend. And going into the more fantasy aspects, I have Knights of the Apocalypse, Seven Deadly Sins, or I should say the Four Knights of the Apocalypse, volumes 2 and 3. I'm a big fan of the original run of the Seven Deadly Sins. I'm really interested to see what they're gonna do with this. They finally showed one character in this book. I'm not gonna say too much on that for people that do still want to go through Seven Deadly Sins, because this does contain some spoilery stuff in there, so I won't say too much. But I've been liking it. I thought the first one kind of started off a little too fast, and some reveals I would have liked to see like happen later on down the road, but I feel like it's slowly getting into its pace. I'm really interested to see what exactly this is going to lead to. And then the end on the most wholesome note that you could have ended on is Life Lessons with Uramichi-san. The anime was fantastic. As someone who worked with kids, like, good God, could I relate a little too much to this series? And it's good. It's wholesome. It's funny. This man, you really feel for this dude, Uramichi. Like, it's funny seeing him interact with these kids and seeing their innocence and everything, and then some of the statements he'll make are just so like blatantly like adult, and it goes over their head, and it just creates a really wonderful interaction between not just him and the kids, but especially the other adult characters in here, and just seeing what all they're going through. So wholesome, it'll hit you in the feels when you least expect it, but the cast of characters is so colorful, like it keeps you engaged throughout the entirety of the story, and highly recommend if you're able to find it around. So go check it out. So moving on the Empress, we're gonna go with the first Yenon book that we're gonna add to my collection. It's gonna be My Happy Marriage. I don't know much about this. I saw the art and it looked really pretty. I was kind of intrigued by the story in the back. But the girlfriend has supposedly read this and she really enjoyed it. So I was like, cool. I wanted to check it anyway. So I haven't gotten around to reading it, but she did say that I probably would enjoy it. So I'm looking forward to it. And following that, a series I'm highly excited to have finally finished getting is Taboo Tattoo. So I'm not gonna lie, it's probably the only series in my collection where I'm kind of on. I remember when I got the first book, it seemed very interesting. You know, government made tattoos that you essentially just like could put on people, and it gave you powers, and the whole secret organization of trying to get them, and then people are trying to use them to awaken some great evil god like thing. It seemed really interesting. Unfortunately, as the story went on, it just kind of went more into like the gory and more like looty route with some of the stuff, so that was a little disappointing. But I did really enjoy the general premise, and at least the action scenes had enough to keep me coming back and wanting more. But I'm finally excited again to be able to say that I've finished the series, and now I can finally see how it wrapped up, because it did get kind of interesting at the end. Convoluted, but interesting. So if anything, I'm excited to see how it wrapped up, and then hopefully maybe a day I'll give a general overview of my thoughts on it, but who knows. But anyway, it's done, and I'm excited for it. Now, one of the new series I picked up is The Wolf Never Sleeps. Now, I'd never heard of this. I think I mentioned before in a previous video that sometimes I'll just pick up books and I'm like, this looks interesting, and I'll skim through it, and I get like a vibe from it. And I did the same thing for this one, and I got that vibe. So I haven't dug into it yet, I haven't read it, but I do really like the art style. It does remind me a little bit more of like Berserk, or maybe anyone's ever heard of some really old obscure manga called like Demon Hunter, that I think is just like a fever dream that doesn't really exist, and the one book I have of it is just like a figment of only my reality. I don't know, but this reminds me a lot of both those series, so I'm interested to see where this goes, and hopefully if it keeps my interest, then I'm gonna keep going with it. And after then, a book that always has my interest, Play It Cool, guys. Anime was announced, so yay, excited for that. I may have mentioned that already, but who doesn't like awkward good looking dudes just trying to learn to not be awkward, but anytime they are, then people just think they're cool instead. So really cool, funny, wholesome. If it's one of those books that you just want to sit down and have a nice relaxing time with, this is it. It'll give you a good laugh. So if you like those kind of things, definitely check this one out. And then on the opposite end of that, then we have Phantom Tales of the Night. So individual has an inn where people come and trade secrets for what they desire, and the secret isn't always what they want to give up. Sometimes if there isn't one, this individual right here on the front helps them make one and then takes it from them. Maybe not always in the nicest fashion. Definitely a lot darker than what I thought it was going to be, and I didn't expect it to build the characters the way it did either. So I know the girlfriend has compared it to, like, I think it's XXX Holic, and somewhat of the premise, but just a lot darker in what it does. So if it's something like that is for y'all, I say definitely go check this out. Again, the artwork's beautiful. I do like the story, and I do feel it's worth to have on your radar. And then probably one of the series that everyone is really waiting for an anime to get announced, Solo Leveling. I'm not really going to say a whole lot about this because a lot of people will have already said everything that can be said about it when it comes to the whole like dungeon mechanic of like the game leveling up, stuff like that. Really good. I love the characters. It's all development, collection scenes, and if you haven't checked it out, definitely go do so. And to add to the series that I'm finally finishing, and Neil and Dewey, if I said those right, I was really sad to see that Volume 3 was the final one, because I love the art that they would give some of the angels and devils in here. Good God, beautiful. Same creator of the Witch Hat, Altair. So if you like that, definitely go check this one if you love the art style. And it did feel a little rushed when it came to the wrapping things up. It does seem like there's a lot more that could be done with these two individuals and their story. But if you're a fan of this person's work, definitely check this out. I wasn't disappointed. And then a series that will wrap up the Yen Press books that I've been pushing off and getting collected is I'm Great Priest Imhotep. So I have 3, 4, and 5. I got a really big Yu-Gi-Oh vibe when I saw the first cover, or I should say the cover for the first volume, and it's kind of like an isekai, but it does deal with like the Egyptian gods and an individual who, with his friend, something's happened, so now he's in the present time, and there's like a group of exorcists that do hunt these deities down and stuff. It's highly captivating when it comes to a certain taste that I have, and I do like Egyptian mythology, so I usually gravitate towards that kind of stuff when I see it in books. But if you like that kind of stuff, very cool to check out. The characters do have pretty cool personalities. They all do feel pretty individual in like their own thoughts and the development that they're getting so far, at least from the first 2 volumes that I've read. If you like that kind of stuff, definitely go look at these up. The series is completed from what I know of, and it's just hunting them down, or at least, you know, having the money to get them down. But backtracking on what I said about those being the final volumes for Empress, I actually have these 2, which are going to be Bungo Stray Dogs 1 and then Days on Fest. So first off, Days on Fest, final volume. Again, it sucks because I really like this. 2 girls, and then the main character and her friend. The friend's brother runs a coffee shop who has another male friend, and it's just them going through and describing their love of festivals, learning about music and why they love it. And it's really wholesome, super down to earth. If you're one of those people that you resonate with music, you use it to cope or get through things, like, this is right up your alley. Go check it out, and it's a very short series to invest in, so highly worth it. And then following that, more on the funny side, Bungo Stray Dogs 1. I'm a huge fan of Bungo Stray Dogs, so seeing that this is more of just a little peaceful one with, you know, not as much depression and sadness, I was like, right on. Definitely want to see these characters just be happy. But if you haven't heard of the series, the original one, Bungo Stray Dogs, definitely go check it out. I'll be doing something on there once the new volume comes out. Worth the read. And then lastly, we're going to have all the Viz Medias that I got. So the first one being Sakamoto Days. Dude, comedy. Assassin, who was the greatest of all time, or still is the greatest of all time, just gets a wife and hits the home life. Sandra comes to try and take him out, and then ends up working with him, and then just shenanigans ensue. So I really do look for a lot of comedy, because I feel like that's, for me, I don't have a whole lot of it. I don't see a whole lot of it when it comes to manga. So if you want those comedy things, definitely check it out. The characters are really fun and interesting, and it's almost like that One Punch Man vibe, where it's like this dude's just really incredibly strong and like no one can get around him. But I don't think it's going to fall in the same pitfall where like all the other characters, or at least him, he takes the sideline to the other one. So definitely worth it. Then one I've been slowly picking up, Prince Freya. I have not read the the latest 2 volumes of this girlfriend has. She says she's not really sure about whether she wants to continue or not, just because of the way the story is going. She's being predictable, but not, at least not in an enjoyable way for her. I'm gonna have to sit and read through it and see if it's something that I'm worth sitting through. But it did start off really strong, so hopefully I don't get the same vibe, because it would be kind of disappointing, but still a very solid series. So I'm interested to see what's going to happen with the story in this one. Another series that really doesn't need a whole lot of words, Kaiju number 8. Like I said, getting up there in age, like the main character for this, like, man, can I not relate with this dude? Like, the comedy is on point, the action's on point. I really want to see an adaptation of this. Like, I really think it's gonna blow up, and anyone that just wants to have that fantasy of being able to turn into a monster so that you could fight all the other monsters but still keep your sanity, perfect. And like I said, just knowing that the dude or the protagonist is just some average dude who gains these powers and just really wants to do nothing but just to help people, like, beautiful. And like I said, the action is really good, so I'm excited to see what happens with this. Then we have Freyrin Beyond Journey's End. So yeah, those first 2, they're really hard to get through at times. You know, just Elf living or learning how people live with her prolonged lifespan, but not everyone else having that, and seeing how she's kind of going through those motions and everything, and the people she meets. I have not read these 2 yet. I'm waiting for a time where I want to accept depression in my life, but it's a really good story. The first volume does hit kind of hard when it comes to those feelings, so I'll say if you do jump in, just be prepared, because it doesn't really pull any punches, but really solid. I'm loving it so far. Then we have 4 and 5 of Mao, again by the creator of Inuyasha. So it gives a lot of those vibes coming right out of the gate. I do feel it's one of those where it's doing the slow burn kind of thing. It reminds me of a lot of older manga. So if that's kind of up in your alley, you did like Inuyasha and things like those nature, like, I don't think you'd be disappointed with this, but I could see people kind of getting turned off because of the pace that it has and maybe some of the way the panels are. But I feel it's pretty solid, and I've been enjoying it so far, so I feel it's definitely worth the read. Then one I was really excited for is Alice in Borderland. That show on Netflix was really good. So now that we have the adaptation of the source material, I'm really interested to see about what was changed, like the little nuances they have in there. Checked out the show. Definitely go pick this up. If you haven't checked out the show, I'm not going to say much on it. Go watch it. It was pretty solid, so go check it out. Then Zom 100, Volume 6. I'm not a big zombie fan, but I do like the comedy that was in here. It focuses more on the characters and him trying to hit this bucket list that he has, instead of like the all like suspense drama stuff that comes with, typical zombie things. So I found an enjoyment in that, but I could see where that would be enough to off-put people if they want more of that zombie focus. So if you want more of the comedy one, if that comes into the zombie area, definitely check this one out. Then a new series that, from what I read, is only going to have like 3 volumes. This Crazy Food Truck. Dude who likes to cook food picks up girl on the side of the road. Supposedly she's running away from the military, but then he reveals he's running away from the military. And now they're both running away from the military while he likes to cook and then she likes to eat. That's really about it, to be honest. It's not anything super in-depth or super crazy, but it's fun. If you want a fun series, definitely go for this. And the art's really nice. So I'm really into see like how, with this being only 3 volumes, it's gonna wrap everything up or what it's gonna do. But it's enjoyable, like it's a good ride. And then to finish things off, we have good old Beastars. Again, one I won't spend too much time on, despite me never talking about it before. I love this a lot more than I thought I would. It's one that keeps me on the edge of the seat. I'm really scared but happy to see where it goes. I'm waiting for that anime to get the next season updated because, good God, I feel they've been adapting it pretty well. But I've been liking the direction that the creator has taken with Legoshi and him learning and trying to find himself in the path he's going on. So I'm not going to say too much because I don't want to spoil anything. But if you watch the anime and you've never dug into the books, definitely go check the books out. Not that the anime does a bad job at anything. It does a really good job, in my opinion, of adapting this. But there's a lot of stuff that just makes everything hit home a lot more in here. And then there's some things just like black and white panels do better than, anime or color and animation ever will. So one of my favorite series, and should be ending pretty soon, next year or so with this. So I'm not ready for that, but one that I always highly recommend. So with that, that concludes the entirety of what I got in May. As I said, I didn't think I was gonna buy that many books in May, but you know, as someone told me, it was a birthday month, so why not go a little ham in there? So hopefully I won't be spending that much this coming up month, but who knows? You never know what you're gonna find. You're like, oh, I need that in my life. So with that, thank you everyone again for stopping by and watching. If you sat through everything, let me know down below like what books you're looking forward to, what series, if you picked them up that I picked up, like what are you liking about it. I do like having those general conversations, like what your favorite characters were, where you think the story's gonna go, like what your nitpicks are, kind of those kind of things. So with that, thank you guys for joining me, and I'll see you guys next time.